Good morning, students. Today I am going to teach you computer virus chapter number 3. Students, do you all fall sick? Yes, because it is very common to the human beings. Sometimes we all fall sick and we visit to the doctor. Doctor may diagnose us as seasonal fever or viral fever, and at that time we cannot do our work properly. We cannot do our usual work properly. Similarly, in case of computer also. Computer also falls sick, and that time computer cannot work properly. And we say computer is affected by the viruses. And though computer do not suffer from cough and cold or seasonal fever, but the strange behavior indicates that system is infected by the viruses. These viruses are not biological in nature, but they affect the software of a computer system. Sometimes these viruses can be so harmful that they can corrupt the important programs or documents in the computer system. They can even reformat your computer system automatically without even bringing it to your notice. In today's world, a virus can be considered as electronic terrorist, and this chapter is about computer virus. Now, what is computer virus? Computer virus is not biological virus. Actually, computer viruses are the computer program. So, viruses is a computer program which runs on any computer system without the user's knowledge. Once it is loaded in a computer system, it starts damaging the system automatically. As a result, the system may come to a halt or even crash. Now, why do the people create and spread viruses? What is the reason behind it? One cannot understand the logic behind people's addiction to create and spread viruses. It might be merely for experimentation, testing their programming skills, or to check how the virus spread. However, there are some reasons that might explain why people write and spread viruses. Firstly, they don't think about the consequences others have to face. Means they just create the virus program and they install in our computer system, and they don't think that after that the computer will not work properly and the people will face trouble to work in that. Number 2, they draw a false distinction between creating and publishing viruses and distributing them. They are thinking that they are distributing the programs only. They are creating, someone is creating and someone is distributing those programs. They consider it to be the responsibility of someone else to protect system from their creations. Means someone will create the virus, someone will distribute the virus, and someone else will find the solution to protect the system. This is a way they fight with the authorities. Means they think they are the very good programmer, the authority cannot do anything, they can create the program and harm the authority also. And they want to engage the antivirus vendors in a job. Means they will create trouble after creating the computer virus. Now the antivirus program another programmer will create, and they will get the job for that to create the antivirus program and protect the system. Now, what are the sources of viruses? There are different sources available, and when the computer is affected by the viruses, we cannot get any information. It cannot give any alarm that the computer the virus is coming to our machine. A virus never raises an alarm before getting into the system. Thus, the user has to be alert while working with the system or browsing unwanted websites through the internet. The user should be aware of the various sources by which virus may enter into a computer system. That may be the pen drive, CD, DVD, etc. Or maybe through the pirated software like application or system software if those are not the licensed one, hard computer games, audio or video, browsing unwanted website through internet, unwanted mails in the spam folder. So all these things may bring viruses to our system. Now when our computer, means how will you understand the computer is affected by the viruses? We'll get some symptoms. What are those symptoms? The speed of the processor becomes comparatively slow. You may get unusual messages on the screen. The disk drive light may continuously flash. The opening or closing of programs and data files takes more time. The programs may not run. Even if they run, they don't function properly. The size of the infected files increases, thus the available memory decreases. The system may frequently restart without the knowledge of the user. The system may not be able to read the contents of CD, DVD or pen drive. The data files may corrupt or show unusual symbols or characters in place of the actual data. So these are the different symptoms we may find if the computer is affected by the viruses. Now there are two types of viruses available, or we can say according to the categories we can say there are two types. One are general infectors, another one is system infectors. General infectors examples are worm, Trojan, worm, and system infectors are boot sector virus, program virus, macro virus, stealth virus, etc. Now general infectors, worms. These viruses are programs which don't affect functioning of a system. Once these viruses enter, they attack the security zone of a computer system. As a result, they just keep on replicating themselves in the disk. They also spread through email while using internet. They use the address book of the system to send themselves through emails. These viruses drastically decrease the available memory of the system. Examples are Swen, Sculpture, etc. Now Trojan. These viruses are better known as Trojan horses. They are also computer programs but destructive in nature. They move around the valid programs and get executed with a flashy opening screen. For example, they attach to the word processor without the user's knowledge and execute whenever the document is opened. They usually get into the system through email attachments with fascinating names. Once you open the email, they become active in the background and slowly start deleting or corrupting the files inside the system. They have no way to replicate automatically and can spread only through user interaction, such as opening an email attachment or downloading and running a file from the internet. Example, backdoor, Nooker, etc. Now boom. As the name suggests, the explosions takes place in the form of a sudden disaster inside the system. These viruses remain inactive for a long time and wait for a specific data or specific event for the disaster. For example, the virus Friday 13 waits for the day and the date Friday the 13th. And you will notice that all the files have been deleted from the system. There are many viruses like Jerusalem Bee, Happy Birthday 30, etc. Now the system infectors. System infectors infected the system files. Boot sector viruses. While loading an operating system, the boot sector plays an important role in the system, but some types of viruses affect the boot sector or master boot record of the hard disk during the process of booting, known as boot sector virus. It means that the system is running with an infected hard disk which further start infecting the stored data. This process continues while booting. The system may not be able to load an operating system. Thus, the system may come a halt. Examples are Danish boot, PC stone, etc. Now, program virus. This viruses directly attack the program files of the system with an extension as exe, sys, .com, .dll, etc. Once the program files are infected with these viruses, they start showing unusual behavior. Since these viruses don't affect the boot sector, the system stays unaffected. When a relevant task related to a program file is performed, it starts showing its destructive behavior and the system fails to perform any task directly. Examples are Sunday, Cascade, etc. Macrovirus. This types of viruses attack the data files of the system. Whenever a user wants to work on any application package, for example MS Word, Excel or Access, related to a data files, he or she finds that either the file is destroyed or it contains some absurd data. Thus, the user is unable to perform any task on those data files. These viruses can easily spread from one computer to another through internet. Examples: Melissa, Bloodhound, etc. Now, stealth virus. These viruses keep on changing their codes within the system, so it is difficult to trust the existence of the viruses through scanner program. Sometimes the user cannot even detect the exact cause of the infected files. It also hides the increased size of the file due to the virus infection. Thus, the infected file seemed to be uninfected during the course of scanning. Example: Frodo, Brain, etc. Students, you will learn till page number 40 of this chapter. I'll give some question answers in your assignment. You'll write those answers in your computer notebook. Thank you.